Okay, so I got a new computer yesterday. Once again, this was a free trash pick, but this was the first one I've gotten that had some sort of problem, but it was easily fixed, which is very fortunate. So, yeah, what was wrong with this computer? Yeah, that's right. It had a high pro power supply in it when I first got it, and what it would do is it would turn on. I could plug the DVD drives in there. I could plug all the data cables up to get everything going. But when I plugged in a hard drive, what it would do is it would go for a run for a few seconds. It would run this fan to speed up a little bit, and it would go into standby mode because of the power supply. So basically, what did I do for a power supply in this machine? I pulled the power supply from the. As I was saying for the video cut off, what this machine was doing was basically giving me problems that are power supply related. What we do is I could hook up the DVD drives and hook up all the data cables, everything, and get it to boot. But I found there was no hard drive in it. They pulled the 250 gig SATA drive it originally had. So I went through the 40 IDE. I ran it to see if I could get it to boot, but I didn't screw it in right away. I couldn't be bothered at the time. And what it would do is it would run for a few seconds, and then it would go ahead and act up. The fans would speed up for a few seconds, and it would shut off and go into standby mode because the power supply was no good. So I tried replacing the power supply, and it works, but that also came at a price. I lost 50 watts of power because I only put a 250 in here that I had from the A400Y. Yeah. I pulled that power supply in a pinch. I didn't lose much power, but I am going to look into a proper power supply very soon. But I don't get it yet because I have a 3-on house power supply failed. Just to be sure I'm not going to waste my money on a machine that's got serious problems with the motherboard. So with that out of the way, what other specs does it have? Well, as I said, I already had a DVD burner, a reader, but also some special features in the front. If you come over here, it has S-Video, composite video, a front panel headphone, microphone, FireWire, and 2 USB 2 ports. I took the media bay out of this thing because I was never going to use it, and without that in there, it makes nice cable management, and quite frankly, I don't have to have it open, so what difference does it make? Unless you open that, you will never know how to remove the media drive bay. It hasn't affected the computer one bit, so if it does affect it, I'll put it back in. So what does this have in the back? Well, I'm going to cut the camera off and then flip it around and show that off. Okay, so with the computer flipped over, this is what the input on the back is. It's got PS/2. The 5150 did not have that. It's got a parallel printer port, once again omitted from the 5150. VGA. The Dell 5150 has that, but it flips out when you use the integrated video with a video card. So it's kind of useless to me because I have a video card on that machine. But it's also got 4 USBs. The 5150 should have that. Ethernet. Unless your computer's a Dell from the 2000, 2002, before they start integrating that, you're going to have that in pretty much every computer. And FireWire. Once again, Dell didn't have that. The A400Y did, and the HP A400Y also had it on the front panel. So it also has FireWire. But it does take a PCIe 2 video card. I could add that, but here's the problem. The power supply from the HP A400Y, it's only 20 pins, so it was a +4 for the video card power, so I can't really put a video card in at the moment, even if I wanted to. So that's left blank until I can get a card for it, or a power supply for it. A TV tuner. Sadly, this is analog only, but if I get a converter box, I can use it for television, but I can also use it for camcorders and whatnot. They use S-Video and hook that up if I can make it work. And it's also got a wireless card. I did not add the wireless card. That was in there from the factory. Hence why it's in wireless LAN on the front, otherwise it wouldn't be there. But other than that, it's your pretty typical system layout. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show what the inside of it looks like. Okay, there's the inside of the computer. What you're looking at is that's the cooler for the AMD Athlon processor. As I said, it's the Socket 939. Supposedly, it's running a little cooler than the AM2 variant of this chip, but I don't really know much about it. I'm still looking at that. But under there is this is your TV tuner on the top. Under there is your wireless card. There used to be a modem in the third slot for PCI, but I have since removed that because I'll never use it. Here it is. Seriously, who uses these things anymore? But over here is the HP media drive bay thing went. How you get this out is a pretty good story. You gotta take the side panels off, and you gotta unclip the faceplate. And then what you can do is you can disconnect it or remove the electronics screw on, and you just slide it right out. It comes out and you don't even have to have it to run the computer, so I'm going to leave it out for now. But behind there is a 40 gigabyte hard drive. Remember, I said this did not have the hard drive, it originally came from the factory. So, yeah, I had to throw a 40 gig I had laying around in there. And move up top, you see two DVD drives. This is the burner and this is the reader. And there's the replacement power supply installed. Once again, this is a High Pro, but this one doesn't have cap problems. This one's made for that. So it's still going strong. It's a decent power supply for a temporary, but I'm not going to use it forever. I'm going to get a proper one for sooner or later. Yeah. There's the inside of the computer. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and show what I've set it up to do. And what operating system I'm running on now instead of XP Media Center 2005. But I'm pretty sure if I get that, I can probably get that tune to work on Linux, but if I can't, I'll just remove it as usual. But I will have to lose the front panel the front things, so that's still up for debate to a point. Okay, so we're on BIOS on this machine, and as you can see, I have 1.5 gigs of memory in this thing. I originally only had 1 gigabyte when I first got it, so I bumped up half a gig. And while it's probably not going to make a huge difference, it will make some difference, but as I said, not a lot. You got on here, that's all you have to see. Is you got the DVD drive set up and everything. What's that good for? And there's the speed of the processor. It's as I said, it's a 3000 plus 2 gigahertz. And it's got 5 total kilobytes cache 2 times because this is a dual core, as I said. But I can also set onboard LAN on and off. I could boot off of onboard. I could use an onboard LAN boot ROM. This also does have FireWire, so there's an option to disable that in BIOS if I wanted to. I set supervisor password. And if I wanted to, I could kill onboard audio at my discretion, especially if I got a nice sound card for it. And yeah, there's the hardware monitor. Is there anything else that needs to be seen? Just to recap some specs I missed. AMD Athlon 64X2 3800 plus 2 gigahertz dual core chip. 1.5 gigs of RAM from 1 gig from the factory. DVD-ROM, burner. TV tuner, wireless card. And yeah, card reader. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's definitely a lot better than most of the free systems because most of them don't have TV tuners. But as I said, it's useless to me because of the digital transition back in 2009. This computer is probably 2005, 2006, so it's predated that by 3 years. There's no way it's digital. I might have to take it out and look it up later. I don't know. But now, we're going to move into my operating system after this wakes up. I don't understand why someone would throw his computer away. It's a dual-core system. It's still very usable. It's one of the better ones I've gotten. Okay, so let's see if I can get into this machine. Okay, so we're in. And yeah, that's what I did with the system. I basically bumped up the memory and moved the modem. That's all I had to do. I can't use the wireless yet. I don't have an antenna for this thing either. I forgot to mention that. Is that the previous owners didn't have the antenna, which doesn't surprise me because that's pretty common. I can just get to get one on eBay or something. Oh well, no big deal. I can spare a few bucks for an antenna. I don't mind. Just to get that wireless working.